In 1976, a young and talented soul and jazz singer appeared with an album on a New York jazz label and was never heard from again. I am talking about Rickie Boger, and from her singular album, Slow Down Baby, the track, Do You Like My Song?
Now my time has come. Please listen to my song. I'm standing on the stage alone.
Oh, I love the way she goes in that note. That the way the way she emphasizes alone and gives it that deep voice.
Sing out to you a message not too strong. I want you to hear these tones.
And I love that the way that chord that this lands on.
Do you like my song? How does it sound to you? Come on and show me what you feel right now. Hey, do you
I love this mixture of like soulful vocals with kind of like jazzy chords and kind of loungy vibe we got going.
like my song? How does it feel to you? Does it take you right up? Does it make you feel blue?
And we have got some real thick arrangements here, courtesy of conductor Howard Johnson, who also plays baritone saxophone on this. And Howard Johnson has many, many, many credits on Discogs, going back to the early 1960s when he was performing with Dizzy Gillespie. I love those flare-up strings like that and how it like is interspersed with those like brass moments.
It has now arrived my time to sing for you.
I think we got some like seventh notes.
Like to serve you this way. Well, I like
Yeah, I'm hearing like that kind of like kind of deep quality, that deep tonality.
my song because it means to me that I finally get the chance to sing.
Let's hear, or let's see who's responsible for some of the other instrumentation. Let's see. Concert master on this track is Gail Dixon, who, yeah, New York-based violinist, and played on Hermeto Pascoal's Hermeto. Yeah, I covered that a little while back. Yeah, and Norman Connor's Dark of Light, and some Roland Kirk titles. Yeah, quite an accomplished musician.
Come on and show me what you feel right now.
Great like drum rolls and like sustained notes on the woodwinds and
Does it take you right up? Does it make you feel blue? It has now arrived my
her vocals I guess remind me a little bit of Phyllis Hyman on The Nightbird. Only this album came out a year before Hyman's debut.
time to sing for you. Glad to serve you this way. Well, I like my song because it
Maybe I'm also thinking a little bit of Angela Bofill. I'm thinking of like, kind of like somewhat deep voiced soul singers.
means to me that I finally get the chance to sing.
Yeah, yeah, kind of like going into those like lower notes and sort of curling and elongating the vowels somewhat.
You to sing to you.
The chords that they've landed on here, that going into the like C F thing with the like higher strings, it seems like we've really kind of gone into full flight at this point.
Sing
little tinkly notes in the fade out. Yeah, everything count. One of those numbers just so full of detail. There are a lot of musicians on this credit, or the credits are like this long. Although at a closer look, it seems like a lot of people are just being mentioned a whole bunch of times in different places. Some people it seems are mentioned quite a few times, more than once. But there are a lot of instruments listed. I mean, viola, violin, tuba. Not on this track though. Tuba. That's strange. I don't see that instrument listed very often on '70s albums. Yeah, the tuba at one time I guess was like the bass instrument until like the early '30s when it got replaced by the stand-up bass. Like the tuba, I guess, was a little bit too heavy and too loud for most like ensembles to be carrying around, and it's just kind of been I don't know, the province of like marching bands ever since. Yeah, let's hear another track from the album. In a Little While. I love those like flare up strings with those slight kind of bent notes. There are those seconds where there seems to be like a little bit of pitch bending.
He's gotten to the age where he feels he wants to play around. Yeah.
Okay, she's talking about someone. I think she's talking about her son.
Finally reached the stage where he feels mama's tying him down.
I believe that this is sung from the point of view of a relatively young mother of a young teenager, meaning like a woman like in her early 30s maybe who has a son who's like 13, 14 maybe.
Gonna let him take his foolish flight of his thoughts of freedom through the night.
Plunging into those really low chords was quite an interesting move.
In a little while, we'll be breathing easy.
Once again, I love the way she really makes the voice lower than you might expect it in certain moments.
In a little while, he'll be on his way. In a little while.
Okay, she's anticipating her son gaining his own independence, and she's kind of just, I guess, kind of resigned to it.
Be happy with me. On the other side of the road is where he's gonna be in a little while.
The other side of the road is where he's going to be in a little while. Yeah, I love those strings. Those strings almost sound just a tad bit warped, and it makes it all the more striking.
Other girls got him thinking that he's more than just a man.
I hear that. All these girls got him thinking that he's more than just a man.
And he cites them to believe that they can do more than Mama can.
That they can, something that they can do more than Mama can. Yeah, she's kind of, I guess, resigned to the fact that her influence is gonna wane on him somewhat as he goes out, discovers. I think part of her is maybe, well, she definitely, like any mother, would have misgivings, but she's also kind of like trying to brace herself, like he's probably gonna go out and get some girl knocked up or get himself in trouble somewhere, like with, messing around. Yeah.
He's gonna find out all on his own. The one he needs. Meanwhile, he sings the song.
I think she just said sooner or later he's gonna find out that I'm actually the one that he needs.
And a little while, I'll be breathing easy. In a little while, I'll be on my way.
So she's also asserting that she would be a better influence on him than what he's liable to fall prey to for the time being as hormones take hold.
Little while, gonna be happy and free. On the other side of the road is where I'm gonna be. In a little while,
I can't think of many songs that really deal with this topic or are sung from this point of view. Like dealing with someone just like dealing with it with an offspring just on the brink of puberty or having just entered it and now starting to go through all those changes and going out more, wanting to go out more, going out like in the evening and not coming back until late, and just the misgivings that parents often have, regardless of whether they tend to be strict or not. Interesting minor key section. I'm wondering if that kind of embodies a certain mood shift.
hey, just as I predicted, he's home right by mama's side.
Oh, things may have turned around.
He don't want me to know other girls hurt his pride, but
He don't want me to know about the girls who hurt his pride. Oh, so he's come back home after having had some bad run-ins with girls or some, I don't know, had some difficulties.
he's learned a lesson, but did he learn it well? I don't know the answer.
She's claiming victory now. He's learned a lesson.
Well, I don't know the answer, but time will tell. Little one.
I wonder if her son is like liable to really go out and break hearts and possibly knock girls up, or at least knock one girl up, like early on, or if it's a case where he might be having trouble even connecting with girls and talking to them, or who knows.
You know, little one. Whoa, 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 yeah.
Because that last possibility isn't something that people were really talking about during the 1970s. Just notice the bass is pretty crafty here, and yeah, played by Herb Bushler, who oh yeah, I brought him up just yeah, just the other day. I love these. I love the way her kind of quivering, but like often low voice, and the strings are just kind of interacting as at the fade out. Yeah, that was Rickie Boger Within a Little While, and before that, Do You Like My Song from her one and only album, the 1976 release, Slow Down Baby, on Muse Records. A jazz, very much a jazz label. And there was some kind of jazz element in these, especially the first song. Although I think she's ostensibly a bit more of like a soul funk singer. But nonetheless, being on this label brought her into some great company, and so we have some really, I guess, just unique arrangements for an album of this sort, and a unique set of influences too coming. It's definitely not like a product of like Philadelphia or for that matter Memphis or Detroit. This is kind of its own thing. Yeah. And unfortunately, we wouldn't hear from her again, but God, what talent she brought together. She's got Buddy Terry, the saxophonist on this album. Huh. Yeah, she's got Jerry Matthews on guitar. We played on a bunch of Judy Collins albums. Almost too many people to mention right here. Yeah. For more Rubies and Sapphires from the Ricky Boger album, see the directory of albums by American soul artists linked in the description below. For red hot tracks and purples from this album, and I think about half the album is pretty red hot. Yeah. And the rest of it tasty purple. Like and subscribe and follow me on social media. And leave a comment if there are any observations you have about the two tracks we just heard. The instrumentation, the layers, the orchestration, the solos, the strings, the horns, and most importantly, the vocals and the lyrics and the meaning and the way that, oh, just all those notes she hits in her unique way of phrasing and going lower and higher. And yeah. And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most ear travel trimaximalist, signing off.